can't control my mind. It's really hard to control an ADHD autistic brain. It really is. It never goes well. Never fucking fun. You're constantly in overdrive. You're constantly wanting stability. You're constantly wanting routine, but at the same time, the ADHD side of me is constantly wanting spontaneity. It's a constant battle. But the one thing I can control is how much effort I put into work and how I perceive and how I do my job. And I always give 110%, and I always do it to the highest standards that I can. If there's a standard to be achieved that's higher than what I am currently, tell me it, teach me how to get there, and I will make it happen. But that's my ethos. I'm constant. That's the one thing I've been able to control all my life is my work. I've always been able to control it. It's a very easy thing to control for me, which is a very nice thing for me to be able to feel comfortable and happy. And I always say I spend 8 to 9 hours minimum in work every day, 5 days a week. I want to be able to enjoy that environment. If I don't enjoy that environment and I'm there for 8 to 9 hours a day, I'm going to be a very unhappy man. So for me, it's kind of a way of, if I can control it, I can control my output. If my output is high and good quality, I often get good reward. People thank me. That hits my dopamine, that hits my serotonin, that makes me feel like I'm worthy of something, that makes me feel like I'm happy, that makes me feel like I'm productive. So when I do come home and I crash out in here and I just sit at the ceiling and stare at the ceiling for 2 to 3 hours, I don't mind so much because I know I've given 110% for 8 to 9 hours at work. So people say to me, work isn't everything. And I go, for me, it is. And that sounds really fucking sad, I know. But if you're an autistic brain, having routine structure and being able to achieve 110% and get reward for it, it ticks all the boxes that I need to be happy in life. I don't get the general happiness that everybody else does. That's the bit that a lot of people forget, is you don't get happy from the small things. It's always the big things that make you happy. It's the big things that you have to put a lot of effort into, but it gives you big, high risk, high reward is often what gives me the dopamine. The little low, nuances, things like a cuddle, I do like cuddling, so that's a bit of a bad thing, but analogy. But little things in life I don't get excited about. I don't get excited about the small things in life. The things that you go, if someone says to you, "I love you," oh, okay, cheers, no, thanks, mate. I don't get excited about that, and I have no emotion. Well, I keep saying this as well, and I need to address that. I do have emotion. I'm actually very emotional. I don't show it. I don't display it. I don't cry. However, I am very passionate, and I am very emotional in the sense that if someone hurts me or affects me, I find it very hard to get past that. I even said to my boss, I was like, it's really weird because if someone affects me, I take it home and I argue with that person. In my head, I'm arguing. So I argued with that person for 2 nights till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was sat there going like, why did he say this? What have I done wrong? Why am I being perceived like that? What am I doing at work that's making me be perceived like that? Who am I engaging with? What's my start time? What's my finish time? All of these questions were burning through my head constantly. And then I was going like, what would I say to him if he said that to me again? Why would I should have stood up for myself, or should I have just walked away? I don't know. I went through every scenario and I was sat there going, I can't fucking win here. So all I was doing was exhausting myself. And then I was going into work trying to fucking do 8 to 10 hours, 8 to 9 hours on high max like I normally do. I couldn't do it. I burnt myself out. And for the first time, I actually said to my boss, I'm burnt out. And I never ever admit to burnout because I don't believe in burnout. For me, I don't get burnout as in the more work you put on me, it doesn't bother me because the more work you put on me, the more the higher the expectation. Again, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So for me, I don't mind a workload. What I do mind is when people perceive me differently, and I'm very much a person that I like to be perceived as a kind person. I like to be perceived in a nice way. I don't like a negative perception of me. I very much am like Marmite. I can 110% tell you I'm like Marmite. You will either love me or hate me, and there's people out there that genuinely hate me, and fair play to them. I've probably upset them. I've probably said something, or I've probably done something or highlighted something. I don't know. Maybe I've done something wrong, but I know there's people out there that hate me. But I know there's people out there that also love me because I like to bring the party. I like to bring the good stuff. I like to bring the high standards. I like to bring the commitment, the loyalty, the trust. That is something I said. I said this to my boss the other day. I said, if there's anything you can count on from me, it's loyalty and trust. Trust and loyalty are my key things in life. Once you're in that circle of trust, once you're in my little circle of trust, all day long, I will defend you. I will protect you. I will look after you. I will do everything I can to make you feel safe and as comfortable as you can be in your environment. I'll look after you. And I don't mean that in a, a mollycoddle type of way. I mean, as in, like, you're in a fast-paced environment. There's lots of issues coming on board. We need to look after each other. And I said to him, I will absolutely, you can count on me 110%. There's 110% in everything today, I've noticed, which is I need to slow down with.